The aspect that holds most players back in Fortnite is game sense, but there are a couple of things that you can start doing today that will instantly help you improve your game sense, and I'm going to explain to you step by step how to do them. If you've ever wondered how the same pros come top 3 or win every tournament they play, it's because of their game sense. So in the first section of this video, I'll quickly go over the basics of game sense, then I'll give you in-depth steps you can do to improve past the basics and master your game sense. Before we get into it, imagine if you could have an AI that knows everything about how to play a competitive Fortnite game. Every pro strategy, when to rotate, how to play the end game, the best way to practice, and even every mistake you keep repeating. An AI trained on advice from top pros, proven coaching methods, and thousands of hours of pro-level knowledge. That's what the platform I've been building, Snapin, gives you. The closest thing to a pro coach, but one that knows everything and is available 24/7. With Snapin, you get unlimited access to this AI. You can generate unlimited personalized pro-level routines, get full weakness tracking, analyze your tournaments, and build custom game plans. And everything is automatically personalized to you. If you would be interested in getting this for around $15, sign up to the Snapin launch using the link in the description and you'll get an email when it releases. Now let's go over the basics, because if you don't understand these, you'll never put yourself in a position to get good game sense overall. And game sense in Fortnite is very different to other games. In Fortnite, game sense is knowing when to fight, when not to fight, when to rotate, how to rotate, having knowledge of the map, but also something a lot of people don't consider as game sense, which is awareness. But this is one of the most important skills in Fortnite. Having good awareness allows you to never miss out on opportunities, whether it's being able to always spot your enemy's mistake or seeing a free refresh in the endgame. If you don't have good awareness, you'll see less of those opportunities, and as a result, you're putting yourself at a big disadvantage. Simply put, awareness is understanding all of your surroundings. But in order to get good awareness, it is not as simple as this. First off, when you're fighting, you want to play reactive. Everything you do should be reacting to your enemy's mistakes. So instead of overbuilding or thinking about how you can build and edit, focus on your enemy, keep track of your enemy at all times, and just focus on dealing as much damage as possible, and wait for them to make a mistake first. And when you do always keep track of your enemy, and this is very important, you'll also see every opportunity where your enemy makes mistakes. If you lose awareness of your enemy for more than just 3 seconds, you might only see 1 or 2 mistakes your enemy makes. But if you always have awareness on your enemy, you're going to see every mistake they make, and you'll have more opportunities to punish them for their mistakes so you can win the fight. And you don't just have to do this visually. You can use the sound to your advantage. Just simply listen to your sounds. Listen to where the enemy is. Listen to what they're doing. If they're healing, you can turn more aggressive and apply pressure to stop them healing. But having good awareness is also being aware of your surroundings in the endgame, because the amount of opportunities you'll get for things like refreshes or even free rotates, if you have good awareness, is huge compared to if you have bad awareness. You should never be just sitting in a box doing nothing. If you don't need a kill or need a rotate, just look around or at least pay attention to the sounds around you. This sounds a little cringe, but paying attention to what you hear to know where your enemies are can truly make your games a lot easier to win. And before every zone switch, which is just where a new moving zone is revealed, at least 3 seconds before, make sure everything is reloaded and make sure that you're ready and that you're focused on the rotate, so you're ready to rotate as soon as zone switches if needed. And when you're in fights, make sure to stay unpredictable. Don't just repeat the same peak over and over again, especially if that peak didn't leave you fully covered in the first place. Also, don't just drop on an enemy's wall and try to take it straight away, unless it's one shot and you have your shotgun out. Instead, drop on the wall wall with your shotgun out and wait for them to edit. If they don't edit, you can try to take the wall, or maybe even bait the enemy again by pulling your pickaxe out and then pulling back out your shotgun again, or going for a fake pickaxe swing. Now, if you follow what I just went over and have a reactive playstyle, you'll find it a lot easier to be unpredictable, as you'll know what the enemy won't expect you to do and will expect you to do, all because you're playing to punish their mistakes and you have full awareness on them. Now, if you want to place better in tournaments, avoid fights that you can't win and set yourself up to win games a lot easier, then you need to work on your positioning. If you aren't a good fighter or prefer to play passive in tournaments, rotate as early as possible to get yourself into a good position early on in the game. This is going to lead to you getting in way less fights during the mid game, but it's also going to give you more opportunities when it comes to having easier rotates later on in the game, or maybe even getting a free refresh. Speaking of which, most of the time, in order to get refreshes and win more fights, confidence is something you can build to make this 10 times easier and lead to you winning fights more consistently, and in most cases a lot faster than you do now. When you go for plays or refreshes, you need to be confident in your ability to win that fight. You need to think you're the better player, or you're gonna hold back on making the plays you need to win that fight or get that refresh, and even just hesitating for a few seconds can lose you a game. So be confident in your plays, and if you're on IGL, you need to be super clear and confident in your ability to IGL, but most importantly, you need to not hesitate and be confident in your calls, because if you aren't confident, it's not just going to affect you, it's also going to affect how your teammate plays, either because it's gonna make him nervous or because it's gonna make him doubt your call because you also didn't sound confident. Good IGLs say we are rotating now. Bad ones say I think we should rotate now. Saying I think we should rotate isn't clear enough, and you might end up rotating by yourself because you never actually told your duo you were rotating now. To them, it probably just sounds like you're thinking about it and you'll decide later. A part of having good game sense is strategic, and what I mean by this is all the top IGLs go into each game with a plan. They know the best places to farm metal at their drop spot. They have a loot path to make sure they get the most amount of loot as fast as possible, and they plan out and draw mid-game rotations so they know before they go into each game what the best rotations are. And they won't always be right, as zone might pull to a spot you don't have a rotation already planned for, but it's still going to give you a guideline to follow. So for your next tournament, plan out and make strategies that are specific to your drop spot. You can also watch pros who land at your drop and just copy what they do. Speaking of which, I think it's super important that you follow this next step if you want to improve your game sense, because besides just playing as much scrims and tournaments as possible, VOD reviewing and learning from pros is the best way to improve your game sense, and it's also one of the only guaranteed ways to become smarter at the game, because you can literally learn how the best players in the world play the game. You can learn when they rotate, how they fight, and all the strategies they do to win games consistently. So look at the good decisions they make and copy them in your own games. For game sense specifically, I recommend watching pros like Vanyak, Queasy, Peterbot, Cami, and Acorn. They're a few of the smartest pros, so you can learn a lot just by watching them. And I know for most people, VOD reviewing is extremely boring, so just try and make it as fun as possible, because VOD reviewing pros is genuinely one of the best and fastest ways to learn the game and improve your game sense. But another guaranteed way to improve is by fixing what's holding you back, and the way you do this is by focusing on your weak points, because everyone, even pros, have mistakes that they need to fix if they want to improve. So watch back your games and look at what specifically caused you to die. If it was something mechanical like missing an edit, or something game sense wise like rotating too late, then I really recommend writing down your weaknesses so you know exactly what you need to work on in your routine. Let's say it was rotating too late. You should write down this to keep track of it and work on improving it in your routine by being ready for zone switch a few seconds before each moving zone switches. matches. And you can do this in scrims, which I'll talk more about later on in the video. But if you want to make finding and tracking your weaknesses easier, then I built a full weakness tracker and also made an in-depth video on how to find your weaknesses and build a routine to improve them. It's called the Fortnite Progression Tracker Bundle, and it has a weakness tracker which has a bunch of different weakness categories that you can tick off and track each time you die to that weakness. It also has some other trackers like a tournament journal and goals tracker, all designed to help you track your progress and improve faster. The link is in the description and it's currently discounted, so be quick if you do want it. Now, what if I told you that you could make good decisions so quickly and efficiently that you start winning way more games, and your understanding of how to properly play a high-level game becomes a lot better? Well, in order to get to this point, you need to improve your instinctive game sense, which are the automatic decisions you do without thinking. And this is all built up with muscle memory, so to improve this, you just need to put in more repetitions of tournament games and scrim games. Because the more you play, the more situations you'll get into, and as a result, the more you'll know how to play different scenarios without even thinking. And this goes hand in hand with the next section of this video: the best ways to practice your game sense. And like I said, you need to get into as many games as possible. The fastest way to improve your game sense is by playing more, but make sure you play the right things, such as scrims and every tournament you can. The more you play, the more you're going to learn, but also make sure to go up against the best possible players so you can improve as fast as possible. And if you are looking to improve as fast as possible, then watch this video on screen. But like and subscribe before you go, use code Blexiti in the Fortnite item shop, and check out the Snapin launch newsletter only if you would be interested in buying Snapin. Thank you for watching.